Fluent Flow Podcast. New videos every day. Let's learn English together.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we cut through all that noise, stack up the sources, and really try to pull out the important nuggets of knowledge so you can get informed fast. Today we're doing something a bit different. We're diving into a really unique source. It's an excerpt from Joyful Solitude, Alone and Happy in English. And specifically, we're looking at episode 40, Things I Do When I'm Alone and Happy. Now, what makes this one so interesting and, why bring it to you today? Well, it's not your usual academic piece or news report. The source actually describes itself like this: designed for English beginners, spoken slowly and clearly, using simple words and gentle rhythm. It's even introduced as the Fluent Flow Podcast in its own intro. So it's really framed as this very accessible communication exercise.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is how this really gentle, simple approach, originally for language learners, actually opens up this surprising window into, universal ideas about well-being. It kind of challenges the idea that you needed complex language for deep insights. Instead, it shows how you can distill some pretty profound wisdom about self-care, finding peace, into these incredibly simple, digestible bits. It's almost like finding a treasure map drawn very simply, but it leads somewhere real.
Well, I like that, a simple map to real gold. Okay, so our mission then for this deep dive is to really dig into the practical insights from this simple text. Insights about finding happiness when you're alone. We want to see what aha moments, what sort of nuggets we can pull out, and what you might take away from this very calm, very straightforward approach to looking after yourself and maybe growing a bit. Okay, let's unpack this. The host of this Fluent Flow podcast lays out 8 things, specific, simple things they do to find happiness, find peace when they're by themselves. And as we go through, maybe, think about which ones sound familiar, things you already do, or maybe which ones spark a new idea for you. We can start with what the source seems to present as maybe quiet comforts. First one, just drinking tea and relaxing. Simple as that. The source paints a picture. Making a hot cup of tea, sitting in my favorite chair, drinking slowly. The goal, to feel calm, feel peaceful. And they note, it is a small moment, but it makes me feel happy. Sounds almost too simple, right?
It does on the surface, yeah. But it's not really just about the tea, is it? It's more like a microdose of mindfulness. When you consciously slow down, even for just those few minutes with the tea, you're basically teaching your brain to find a bit of stillness in the middle of everything.
Okay. Like creating an anchor.
Exactly. It's an anchor point for resetting yourself mentally. That pause lets your nervous system kind of settle down. It shows how something that seems tiny can actually have a pretty big impact on your well-being just by fostering that little bit of peace.
That makes a lot of sense. And speaking of quiet moments, another classic one often goes hand in hand with tea, I think. Reading a book. The source says, books are like friends, which is lovely. When I read, I go to a different world. And they mention reading stories or even books about English learning. Mm-hmm. The point is, it helps the host feel relaxed and also learn new words.
Mm-hmm. And reading, it isn't just escapism, though that's part of it. It's also like active cognitive work.
Right.
When you get lost in a story or grapple with new ideas, you're not just picking up vocabulary, you're literally forging new connections in your brain.
Right.
It expands empathy, maybe shifts your perspective a bit, and it gives you this really personal, low-stakes space for, stimulating your mind. It shows how solitude, with a book can actually be super productive and enriching.
Okay, so from those quiet comforts, let's maybe shift gears slightly. Thinking about personal reflection and immersive learning. A big one the host mentions is writing in a journal. They talk about writing about their day, how they feel. Doesn't matter if it's one sentence or many. Mm-hmm. The benefits they list are pretty clear. Helps you think, helps understand feelings, and helps feel strong and happy. And they even give this little tip. Write in simple English. 1 sentence a day.
Yeah, and what's really neat there is how journaling, even super simply, acts as this powerful way to check in with yourself, process emotions. It's like taking what's inside your head and putting it out where you can see it. That can lighten the mental load, bring some clarity. Mm-hmm. So this kind of reflective writing, even if it's minimal effort, it helps you sort of map out your own emotional world, understand why you react the way you do. It makes self-awareness really accessible.
Now, this next one feels really relevant, actually, for what we do here and maybe for you listening. Mm-hmm. It's listening to English. The host says straight up, when I'm alone, I listen to English. Yeah. Podcasts, music. They even say, just listen to my own voice in English.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the big benefit, listening helps me feel connected. Even when I am alone, I feel close to the world. And then they directly tell the listener, which is quite meta, you were doing this right now. Great job.
That's brilliant. It really highlights something crucial about immersive learning, doesn't it? It's not just about picking up language. It's about finding connection, even a sense of agency through media, even when you're physically alone.
Right.
It turns that solitary time into a chance for growth, for feeling part of something bigger, builds confidence, gives you that feeling of making progress. It shows that learning can be, personal and communal all at once, even if it's just you and your headphones.
Absolutely. Okay, moving into what we might call mindful engagement. The host suggests something really quite lovely, taking a walk.
The description is specific. A short walk, no phone, no noise, just walking. Looking at the sky, the trees, breathing slowly, and the impact. It helps the body, helps the mind, and gives quiet and space to feel happy.
That simple act, it just underlines the huge benefits of disconnecting from our devices and actually deliberately paying attention to the natural world around us. It's a fantastic way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's rest and digest mode. Yeah. It promotes relaxation, cuts down stress.
So moving your body plus mindfully noticing things, it just clears the mental clutter. It's a natural mood lifter, kind of an antidote to feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay, this next one really embraces simplicity, profoundly so maybe, enjoying the silence. The host says, sometimes I don't do anything. I just sit, or I lie on my bed, and I do nothing. I look at the light, I hear the sounds outside, and I feel good. The core idea seems to be being alone is a gift. You don't have to do much. You can just be.
And that doing nothing, it isn't just zoning out. It's actually a really important reset for the brain. Neuroscience is showing that these quiet moments when you're not focused on a task, they help activate what's called the default mode network in the brain. And that network is vital for things like self-reflection, consolidating memories, even creative thinking and problem solving.
Well, so doing nothing is actually doing something important.
Exactly. It's a direct route to mindfulness, just being present, noticing thoughts and feelings without judging them, just being. No need to react or fix anything. It's like productive idleness, a necessary pause in our constantly stimulated lives.
Productive idleness.
I like that.
Okay, shifting slightly again towards everyday practices, things that maybe build a bit of self-confidence. One activity mentioned really stood out to me because it seems both fun and, super practical. It's talking to myself in English. The host says, when I am alone, I speak in English to myself. And gives examples like, how do I feel today? I feel happy. I'm learning English.
Simple prompts.
Yeah, very simple. And the benefits they list. Great way to practice. You don't need a teacher. It builds confidence, helps you speak better. And the advice is just talk slowly. Just say 1 or 2 sentences.
This one really shines a light on the power of self-talk, not just for drilling language, but for building that general sense of capability, confidence. It creates the super low pressure zone for practice that's so important for getting over the hump, the hesitation lots of learners feel.
Definitely.
So this kind of self-directed chat, it actually strengthens the brain pathways for speech. It's a really effective, totally accessible tool for growing linguistically and personally. It's like you're proving to yourself you can do it. You become your own coach.
Your own coach and cheerleader, yeah. Okay, finally, the 8th activity is just doing something simple. The host lists things like clean my room, cook something easy, water my plants, maybe look at old photos or play soft music. And the summary really hits home. These things are simple, but they give me joy. They help me enjoy my time alone.
If you look at these broadly, these simple tasks, they really point to the satisfaction we get from, creating a nurturing space around us and finding pleasure in everyday actions, everyday accomplishments. There's a bit of psychology there too. Finishing small, tangible tasks gives you a little hit of mastery, of control, and that feeds directly into your overall sense of well-being.
Those little wins.
Exactly. Little wins. Tidying up, caring for something like a plant. These small successes remind you that happiness can be found, even cultivated, in the ordinary stuff. Adds points to your mental scorecard, you could say.
So let's kind of pull back and look at the big picture here from this dive into the Fluent Flow podcast excerpt. The core message seems to be finding joy in solitude through these really accessible acts. Tea, reading, journaling, listening, walking, silence, self-talk, simple tasks. And the source keeps reminding us, all of these are small, but they are powerful and encourages you can try them too. Choose one, start today. It's very gentle.
Yeah, and if you look at the sort of the story behind the story, this whole collection of simple solo activities, it really highlights a deep universal human need, the need for self-care, for moments of peace. That closing thought from the source, you don't need many things to be happy. Sometimes time alone is all you need. It just captures it beautifully.
It really does.
It's a powerful reminder for anyone, really, wherever they are on their journey. And it makes you ask, doesn't it? This kind of raises a question. How often do we maybe overlook these super available ways to build happiness and grow just because they seem, too basic, too quiet?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
And it is genuinely inspiring, I think. The insights from this Fluent Flow source, they remind us that our own journey, whether it's learning or just general well-being, it's built, like they say, step by step, habit by habit, day by day. It's about being consistent with the small stuff. So what does this all mean for you listening? Well, perhaps the deepest kind of well-being, the most sustainable kind, isn't really found in the huge achievements or what others think. Maybe it's found in consistently embracing these little quiet moments of just being present, being kind to yourself, making solitude feel like a real gift you choose to give yourself. Thank you for listening to this deep dive. Take care, and please do join us for our next one.